can pull out another doodle and wait until everyone else is done.
Already?
It's okay. It's okay. Okay. Okay, Eric, keep going. Keep going. Good job, you know, good stuff. Your choice. Identifying first and then solving the equation. So today we're going to work on solving the equations. And we had two steps. First, you had to identify yes or no, whether or not the problem requires you to borrow, and then we went on to the next step to solve. So today we're going to do these three problems as a class, as a group, and then we'll branch off into you guys doing your individual problems, okay?
Yeah, that was my wishes.
Did you have any questions about as far as more on the floor, go next door, anything like that?
No.
No? Okay. So, Nathan Monka, can you tell me the rules to the whiteboard? What are the rules to the whiteboard?
After you write down your answer, you always have to cap your pen and sit in slant.
Okay, did you hear that, Nathan Williams?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, so should our pens be off when we finish? Should the top be off our pens once we're done?
I
No?
agree.
No? Okay.
We agree.
Okay, thanks for coming back. So what we did, I had them monitor where they think they are as far as identifying whether or not the subtraction equation requires us to borrow. So how do you feel? Do you feel you can teach someone else? Do you feel like you're still learning? Or do you feel like I just do not get it? And looking at your do now help with determining that. Just with identifying. Okay. So bring it on. Okay. So you feel like you can cheat someone else. Awesome. Okay. So we went over the rules of the whiteboard. What are the rules once you finish completing?
You put your cap on, and then you put it on top.
Okay.
You sit on slant.
Okay. Perfect. So right now, remember on the last time we met, we talked about identifying. So the first step is what I want you guys to do is tell me whether or not the problem requires us to borrow, and then we move on to solving. Okay? So I want everyone to go ahead and pick up your pens, and I want you to write this problem on your board. Okay? So write number 1 on your board.
8 and 8.
Okay, thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Eric. And Mr. Williams is almost there. Perfect. Okay, so looking at this equation, okay, so where should our pens be? Okay, so looking at this equation, do not shout out. I want you to take some thinking time, and I want you to tell me whether or not this equation requires us to borrow. When you have thought about it and you have your answer, I want you to write it on your whiteboard.
I have no.
No shouting out. You write it on your board, and we'll go around and discuss, okay? So what I'm seeing is everyone's saying no. Eric, can you tell me why you put no? Complete sentence.
I put no because they're both 8s.
They're both 8s. So each number is the same, which means that we don't have to borrow, right? So how would we solve this? So we've identified that this does not require us to borrow. How would we solve this, Nathan Monka?
Like you use a minus 8
Which
equals
is?
0, and since there's nothing right there, you can just barely put 0.
You can just put a 0 here.
No, you could just put a 6.
6 where?
Right there, because 6 minus 0 equals 6.
Awesome. Nathan Williams, do you agree? Do you agree? Okay, so if you can't use these correctly, then I'm going to have to... No, because those were my instructions. I just wanted you to write problem number 1. So go ahead and write problem number 1 again for me. Problem number 1, Nathan. Do you agree with Nathan that the answer is 60? Do you agree with his explanation as to why the answer is 60? He told us 8 minus 8 equals 0. And 6 minus nothing equals 6, so our answer should be 60. Do you agree? Mm-hmm.
I agree because 8. There's 2 8s and that equals 0, and there's 1 6 and that's 6.
Okay, perfect. Good job. Okay, go ahead and clear your boards. Clear your boards. That one was pretty easy, huh?
Yep.
Okay, number 2. Write it on your board.
One messed up.
Okay, so same thing. I want you to write your answer on the board, but this time we're going to share our answer with our partner, okay? So take a second. Think about whether or not this equation requires us to borrow. Write your answer on the board, and when you're done, your top should be on your pen and down, and I'll know you're
I
ready.
was going to have a partner.
Okay.
No, I'll have a partner.
Go ahead, put your answer on your board. I see Eric has his answer. Nathan, I'm waiting for you to write your answer. Mr. Williams, go ahead and get your answer on the board. Okay, so you two are going to turn and talk to each other, and I'm going to talk with Eric, okay? So I want you to explain why you put your answer first, and then I want you to tell him whether you agree or disagree, okay? And if you don't, I want you guys to determine whose answer is correct and why, okay? So explain your
You
answer
go
to me.
first.
So
Right here, though.
it's-
Nathan Williams, you go first.
So
What?
I think
Go
it's,
first. Explain your answer. Tell him why you put yes, please.
so I think I said no because the bigger number is on the top and the lower numbers has to be on the bottom.
So the lower number. So you're telling me that you said no because 3 is
I
bigger than
put
2?
I put
Is that what you're
yes.
telling me? Okay. So it doesn't
Because-
require us to borrow. Awesome.
Yeah.
You're correct. Can you solve?
I put yes
It now?
because the bigger the lower
Okay.
number.
So go ahead and solve it, and then I'm
Solve
going
it.
to come back and jump in. Okay. Go ahead and solve it.
Well, I think it's no because the rule said if it's more on the floor, you have to go next door. There's no, that's not more on the floor because if you put yes, you're thinking that 2 is bigger than 3, but it's personally supposed to be no because if you don't have more on the floor, you can't go next door.
So what do you say? Do you want to change your answer? Do you agree with what Nathan's saying?
I disagree because 3 is bigger than 3 is bigger than 2.
So 3 is bigger than 2. So if I have 3 pieces of candy right here, and you have 2 pieces, who has more? You do. So then that means that 3 is bigger than 2. So do you need to borrow?
Yes.
If 3 is bigger than 2, do you need to borrow?
No.
No. So go ahead and change your answer. Good job. I like that you walked through that. I want. Okay, so basically you're telling me we have to borrow because the bigger number's on the bottom and the smaller number's on top. Nathan, do you agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I put yes.
Awesome. Both of you are absolutely correct. It is yes.
Oh.
The number on the bottom is bigger. So remember we went a little bit over about how we borrow and what we do when we borrow. So I'm gonna walk you guys step by step. So I want to make sure you're following along. Thank you, Nathan, for coming back and joining us. Do you want to get your problem on the board before we walk through it?
Yes.
Okay. We'll wait for you. And I'm going to clip you up for being such a sport and knowing that you needed a break and you were willing to come back and join us, Nathan. Thank you. Okay. So Nathan, you weren't, so last time when we talked about like borrowing and what it requires, you weren't here. So we'll walk through it and then I'll come, if you have any questions, I'll come work with you individually to help you walk through the steps, okay? Okay, so Nathan Monka, what's the first step that we're going to do? Since you've already determined that we have to borrow, what is the first step to borrowing in this equation?
You have to check. You have to X out the bigger number and make it to a
This bigger number?
I
That
mean,
bigger number? Which bigger number?
the one next to the
What
1.
number is that?
6.
So we have to cross out the 6, okay?
Then you have to put 5,
Because we go 1 less than, right?
and then
Go ahead, I'm listening.
and then we have to we have to add that.
Add what?
We have to add the
Sorry,
6 to the 1. Since we took away 6, the one bottle of the 6, so it's supposed to. You have to X out that and
So when we X this out, how many are we borrowing?
1,
1 or
2.
10?
Oh, 10.
10. Remember when we take from here, because that's
Oh,
like
yeah,
having
I forgot.
6 tens, right?
So you're saying that you have to X out that and turn it to a 10, right?
Turn it into a 10. So we borrowed a whole 10 from there. So we put 10. Okay, so Eric, you should be following along. Nathan, good job following along.
10.
So go ahead and do 10. No, it's not 10.
10 minus 5.
Okay, so what he did right here is, Nathan Williams, he told us that we had to borrow, right? So right here, he told me that we have to go 1 less than 6, which is
10.
which is 5. 1 less than 6. You just go backwards 1. And if you need this to help you with it, because this is how Eric determined, you just go back 1, right? But whenever we borrow, Nathan, we're borrowing 10. And how I explained it to them, this is basically 6 tens. So we had to borrow 1 whole 10 from them. So then we go ahead and we put 10 on this side. So then we do 10 plus whatever number is here. So it's 10 plus 1.
10 plus 1. 11.
Okay, 11. So we put 11 here. Okay?
So
So
we
do
have
you
to
have
X
11?
out 10.
Okay, good. So now I want you